Okay, so if you pull out that little envelope that says trims, this is another place where you're able to have a lot of fun. Go ahead and pour that out. What you're gonna find in there are the buttons and the various trims that I have for you. So trims are so much fun. They are so much fun. You can do lots of different things with them. One of the things that's obvious, but sometimes we forget, is make a bow. I mean, really, that doesn't sound all that intense, but really, if you put a bow somewhere, it can really just add a little bit of zing to what you've got going, etc. The other option for trims that we sometimes forget, and it's best with a thick trim, is to just tie a knot. And you tie a little knot, and then you end up with those two tails on each side, and that can be really, really cute. Same thing, it can just add a little bit of zing to something. That's a simple plan. I like trims on the edge of a page. I feel like they add a lot of gusto. Lace is one of my favorites on the edge of a page. So instead of putting it down the middle of the page, really stick it on the edge. So it's gonna stick out of your journal as well. And like I said, in the mass market world that we live in, that is just so fun and different. And I specifically made each piece of lace longer than the pages so that you have that option, which is a fun thing to do as well. You can, when you're dealing with your tags, obviously you can run fabric trims through the end of the tags. Did I use them all? Here they are. So you can, twine is one of the simplest. This jute twine is so good in a tag. That's a great option. And then just tie a little knot right there. You could also tie it in a bow if you wanted, or a tight knot. So that's an obvious one for tags, but if you have a tag that isn't punched or you don't want to punch it, you can put that on the top. You can staple it to it. So in this case, I would staple to the center, and I would just kind of double it over and give it a staple with a stapler that worked in theory, and attach it right there. And then it would be there, sticking up, looking cute, etc. So you can staple your trims down. You can glue trims to a page. That's a fun option. Say I have this page. Actually, the one I really wanted to use it on was this. I'm not wild about the way the glue played out in this band, so I'd like something a little different there. This might be able to just go straight down the middle. See, that would be good, because that's a lot less bizarro looking than the way the glue came through. So let's just run a quick bead of glue right down the center of this band. And then when you're putting a trim on straight up, it's best to grip the trim on both ends. I'm just untying this knot here. And kind of pull it tight, and that way you're not fighting it as much. You've got it straight and somewhat tight, and you just kind of wiggle it into that glue, and then hold it there for a little bit. And because this glue dries clear, you're gonna be in a good spot. In fact, I'm gonna scoot this over just a bit. There we go. And then you can just trim whatever edge there. And then just let it lie for a while. The other option you have with trims that's really fun is you can use them as a tab on your own. So you have a couple of options there. So you could put this right on the top here. You could also, if you wanted to just apply that right there, I am liking that. That makes me happy. And that is the standard of how you choose to junk journal. Does it make you happy? Is it moral? Does it make you happy? So that's an option as well. When you have a wide ribbon, you can wrap it around as well. That can be really cute. And although it's obvious from what I sent you I don't want you to miss out on the fact that you can take your ribbon or your trim and those extra paper clips and you can decorate them how you want. I have found with something really fine and thin like this one, I do what has happened here, which is I do 2 of something. And if something's really fine and thin, it does seem to work better to just tie a knot instead of trying to weave it through. But you can just put it through, and this one I glued these 2 pieces together, or you can do the loop through, which let me show you how that works. So the thing about a loop through is you need to remember you are going to use a lot more than you expect. It needs to be longer than you think. So you take that folded part, run it through the piece that you have here, through the end of the paper clip, and then you put your 2 loose ends and you pull them through the looped part. And then you're going to give that a good yank. And the way to get that to stay on a paper clip, that can be a real challenge. You do a lot of yanking, etc., but sometimes you just have to actually make it a little looser and let this part right here be up over the jute. Just depends. And you know, that might need some glue just to keep it happy.